Everything is going to be okay. We're here for you.
In the bustling corridors of the orphanage, a young girl in a wheelchair sat quietly, staring at the floor as a luxury car pulled up outside. The driver opened the door, and a tall, sharply dressed man stepped out, famous, powerful, and known as a billionaire with a heart for adoption. She didn't move. She didn't cry, but her words, when they came, pierced the air like a whisper, yet commanded attention. Please, don't adopt me. Adopt my mom instead. Ah! The man froze, stunned. Nobody had ever said that to him. Her tiny hand gripped the wheelchair wheels, and her eyes filled with pain, love, and courage met his. Before we reveal what happened next, and how one heartfelt wish changed all their lives, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Hopeful Stories, where hope finds its way in the most unexpected moments. Lily had been in a wheelchair for as long as she could remember. Born with a rare condition that made walking impossible, she learned early on that life was full of limitations, but also of love. Her mother, Anna, had raised her alone after her father abandoned them. Anna worked multiple jobs just to pay bills and cover the specialized medical care Lily required. Despite the exhaustion etched on her face, Anna never complained, and Lily never wanted to be a burden. They were poor, struggling, yet fiercely proud and full of love for each other. Lily had grown up in an orphanage program not because she was abandoned, but because her mother's job required her to travel long hours. The program promised safety, care, and hope. But Lily always felt that one piece of her life was missing: the warmth of her mother's full-time presence. That warmth became even more precious when the news came that a billionaire named Jonathan Clark was visiting the orphanage, looking to adopt a child. Rumors whispered through the hallways how he had adopted several children in the past, how he gave them a life of luxury, education, and endless opportunities. The staff prepared, excited for a day of celebrations and introductions. But Lily sat quietly in the corner, observing Jonathan as he greeted the children, shaking hands, laughing, and listening. She noticed the way his eyes softened when he spoke to a timid child, the patience he had when reading a story aloud, the warmth he radiated even amidst wealth. She also noticed the other children, eager to wave their arms, to say, "Pick me," to be chosen. And yet Lily didn't raise her hand. She didn't want to be chosen. Not really. Instead, when Jonathan finally approached her, crouching slightly to meet her at eye level, she took a deep breath and said what she had been thinking for weeks. "Please don't adopt me. Adopt my mom instead." The words escaped her lips with a quiet certainty that made the billionaire pause. The adults around them gasped softly. She continued, her small voice steady, despite the tremble in her hands. "She takes care of me every day. She never sleeps. She works so hard. She deserves a better life. I just want her to be happy." Jonathan's expression changed in an instant. The man known for decisive business moves, for acquiring companies and assets in minutes, now felt something unfamiliar. Shock, awe, and an overwhelming tug at his heart. He knelt beside Lily, placing a gentle hand on her wheelchair. "You want me to adopt your mom?" he asked, almost whispering, unsure if he'd heard correctly. Lily nodded, her eyes shining. "Yes, she deserves it more than I do. I'll be okay, I promise." Jonathan exhaled slowly, feeling a mixture of admiration, disbelief, and a deep emotional pull. This little girl had just taught him more about love, selflessness, and humanity than any boardroom ever had. That single moment, her quiet courage would change everything. And as the scene unfolded, dear viewer, remember to like this video and subscribe to Hopeful Stories. Because stories like this remind us that true hope is often found in the most unexpected voices. Jonathan Clark couldn't get Lily's words out of his mind. For a billionaire used to controlling every situation, it's making decisions that impacted millions. This requested child asking him to adopt her mother instead of herself was something he had never faced. He spent the night thinking, pacing his mansion, weighing possibilities, and imagining the kind of life Anna deserved. By morning, he had made up his mind. He returned to the orphanage, arriving with a bouquet of flowers and a warm smile. Lily's eyes widened as he approached, kneeling beside her wheelchair. I think I understand exactly what you mean, he said gently. And I want to meet your mom. When Anna entered the room, exhausted from her night shifts, she was met with a shock that nearly stole her breath away. A billionaire was standing in front of her, speaking politely, kindly, and with an unmistakable offer. I would be honored to give you the life you deserve, he said softly. Tears welled up in Anna's eyes, and Lily reached out to squeeze her mother's hand, her face glowing with hope. The weeks that followed were surreal. Jonathan Clark arranged for Anna to move into a comfortable home, provided her with financial security, and enrolled her in courses she had always dreamed of taking. For Lily, life remained full of love, family, and laughter, but now there was a new kind of stability in their world, a promise that hardship was no longer permanent. More than wealth or luxury, it was the recognition of her mother's worth and sacrifices that mattered most. Jonathan visited often, but it was not to flaunt money, it was to nurture the bond. To witness the happiness that Lily's selfless wish had inspired. The media caught wind of the story and were captivated. The child who put her mother first, the billionaire who listened, and the magical change that followed. Yet for Lily, Anna, and Jonathan, the real story was quiet, intimate, and profound. It was about love, gratitude, and the transformative power of selflessness. One evening, as the sun set behind their new home, Lily looked at Jonathan and said softly, "Thank you for listening, and for loving my mom the way I always wanted." Jonathan smiled, kneeling to her level. "You taught me the greatest lesson of my life," he said. "Sometimes the heart knows more than the mind ever could." And as their laughter echoed into the twilight, dear viewer, remember this: true love and hope often appear in the simplest, most unexpected acts. If this story moved your heart, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Hopeful Stories for more inspiring tales that prove that hope, courage, and selflessness always find a way.